Russia and Ukraine, they continue to exchange drone attacks. This happened over the weekend as well. And on Saturday, this happened after delegates from both the sides failed to agree to come to a ceasefire. This happened at their first direct talks in more than 3 years in Istanbul, where the meeting was taking place. Some of those visuals of the latest and the largest drone attack by Russia on Kyiv. 273 drones were launched by Russia overnight, targeting chiefly the central Kyiv region and the Dnipropetrovsk and the Donetsk region in the country's east. Ukraine's Air Force has confirmed these statements. The drone attack on Sunday killed a 28-year-old woman in the capital region and injured at least 3 people, including a 4-year-old child as well, according to Ukrainian authorities. And this is the largest known Russian drone attack since full-scale war began in 2022. On the eve of the 3rd anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine on the 23rd of February, Moscow launched a then record 267 drones, this time 273. And the 100 minutes of first direct talks in 3 years between Russia and Ukraine in Istanbul on Friday, it failed to broker the temporary ceasefire. Only an agreement to trade 1,000 prisoners of war on each side was agreed upon. US President Donald Trump said that he would speak to Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy on Monday. 273 drone strikes, chiefly targeting the central Kyiv region. The largest barrage of drones, the largest drone onslaught by Russia on Ukraine. Some of those visuals that you can see on your screens as well. Kamikaze drones being incorporated. This is essentially in central Kyiv and the Dnipro and Donetsk regions in the eastern half of Ukraine. Russia's biggest drone attack that was launched overnight, taking place just hours after, for the first time, representatives from both the warring sides sat across the table for the first time in the last 3 years of the war in Istanbul just this Friday. And Saturday night is when this latest onslaught is being learnt of. Well, Dr. Zakir Hussain, foreign affairs expert, joins us here on the broadcast. Dr. Zakir Hussain, look at the timing of such an attack. Last time, the largest record was 267 drones. This time, 273, chiefly targeting Kyiv. And this is happening just days after Ukraine and Russia sat across the table in Istanbul, in Turkey, where Turkey explicitly said that a ceasefire must be agreed upon. And apart from that, I think everything else was spoken about, 1,000 prisoners of war being exchanged, but still, this onslaught happening just 24 hours after that meeting only goes on to show that clearly nobody's taking this ceasefire deal or peace talk seriously.
The main issue of this ceasefire is that Putin is not in confidence to continue this ceasefire. Putin thinks that there are several reasons which is not good for his security and keeping the confidence into motion, because he thinks that once he goes to ceasefire, America may take a twist in this situation, and the way they have signed the agreement with Zelenskyy is also not favoring Putin, because Putin wants 2 things very clearly. Number one, whatever area he has captured should remain with Russia, and second, that Ukraine must not join NATO, or eastward expansion of NATO is not acceptable in any condition. These 2 things are not very clearly ensured to Putin. In fact, one thing may be there, but these parties may agree that Putin may hold some region, whatever he has taken, including other parts, Crimea. But on eastward NATO expansion, it is not clear, because Putin thinks that if I agree on this, tomorrow they will expand eastward, and again there will be a bone of tussle between the 2 countries.
But what does this tell us, Dr. Hussain? What does this tell us? For the first time in 3 years, these 2 sides, their representatives, are sitting across the table people have been saying for the longest time. Remember Donald Trump, before that inauguration, he said some of the first thing that I'm going to do is to look at the peace deal. There is going to be peace between Ukraine and Russia. And I think we came close to that. There were hectic phone calls that were being done, but that's about it. Teethless arguments and conversations that actually took place. Where does this leave Donald Trump? I mean, it's a big prestige issue for him now, isn't it?
Look, Donald Trump is basically transactional. What is happening if we take leave from some example from Middle East? He has immediately signed agreement with Houthis after doing a lot of bombardments and other things. And then he also talked about Gaza, that he wants to create a freedom zone. And again, he offered olive branch to Iran with some sticks. So what Trump says that he is trying to negotiate and give some space to Putin, but at the same time he has also shown that he is not very much interested. If Putin is not ready to continue, he is not going to be that much flexible, because initially he was taking that he can end its conflict in 24 hours once he assumes power. But it is not happening because Putin is not in 100% confidence with Trump. The way situation turned in Putin in favor, just like starting, we all know that what happened in Oval Office, where there was a fight between the two unmatched heads of the states, and later on there was a time when there was no issue of having any negotiation. Then again they came to the negotiating table again. Then they signed the agreement and they entered. So this makes Putin suspicious. And Putin has given a lesson, a warning that Putin is not on a back foot after signing the Middle East agreement. On that basis,
Ursula von der Leyen, Dr. Hussain, Ursula von der Leyen, the EU head, has already come out and said that, if nothing goes on further, we're already preparing more financial sanctions on Russia. So, of course, needless to say, European Union also not backing off. Ukraine also wants its membership in the NATO. And Putin, like you're pointing out, he's not very sure about this ceasefire to go on. And these attacks do tell us the same thing. In your final argument, we're running out of time here, Dr. Hussain. Where does this leave the Ukraine-Russia conflict? There seems to be no reconciliation or any doors open for a word like reconciliation here.
What I feel that you gave the reference of EU. EU in fact is preparing for the coming years. He has made a plan to raise 1 million troops and invest more than $14 billion in their defense industry, raising from 2% to 5%.
Right.
And somewhere we also find there is a understanding developed between EU and America, because America found that during tariff war, it found that without EU, it cannot maintain its hegemony or power in the world. EU is very important to America. So somewhere some understanding between America and EU has come. On that basis, they are doing all these things. So Putin, what I feel that we are not going to see war in near future, because what we found that Russia has also downed F-16, and their speculation is there that the Chinese technology has went there. So if we collect all these things, it shows that peace is not going to be restored very soon between the two countries.
No, you're absolutely right. And as much as Donald Trump wants the European Union as its arm to operate near Russia, I think the European Union, like you pointed out, is looking, to serve itself the best in the future, because they want to do away from the hegemony of the United States. Yeah. Tomorrow, if the United States picks up its arms and says, we're not helping you, they want to make sure they have the wherewithal to counter these threats, just like threat number one, Putin right now, in the near future. You're absolutely right.